Here we go again. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is back in the hospital as leftist liberals once again begin to panic. In this video, we're going to take a look at the latest health scare for this octogenarian Supreme Court justice, and we're going to see precisely why liberals ought to be panicked, as control of the Supreme Court is indeed slipping out of their hands. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone, patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you as always. I look forward to this time each and every single day with you. If this is your first time here at this channel, a very warm welcome to you. I post 2 videos a day, analyzing current events, analyze some super awesome conservative trends, so that you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell. The bell is gone. I can never get used to that. Smack that subscribe button. It'll be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular part of this channel, where together we celebrate the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. Let's start with our video chat question of the day, shall we? Do you believe Ruth Bader Ginsburg will vacate her seat by the end of the year? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Do you think this is the beginning of the end? That Ginsburg will vacate her seat before year's end? Because we're going to look at her deteriorating health and how the increasingly likelihood of Trump's reelection has liberals rightly panicking about the future of the Supreme Court. But first, let's give you a shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's the makers of the beautiful, the awesome Fighter Flare flashlight. You are gonna love this one. Now, one of the best things you can invest in for your protection when the lights go out is a 6-in-1 beauty, which comes with a 3,000 mAh solar-powered recharging battery. It's equipped with a high and low beam light that you can see from miles away. It has an emergency strobe light. It has a compass, a wire and rope cutter. It's got an emergency glass breaker hammer and a high-powered military-grade magnet. It is awesome. And best of all, as a Turley talker, you'll get 25% off the new 2020 model before they sell out. But supply is limited, so don't wait. Click on the link below. Get your super awesome Fighter Flare flashlight today. I've got mine. Make sure you get yours. All right, gang, let's dive in. The ultra-liberal Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has been hospitalized once again for fever and chills. She's currently in the Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. If you don't know, that's Dr. Ben Carson's old stomping grounds, and she's expected to be in the hospital for several days as doctors treat her symptoms with an intravenous antibiotic treatment. I'll say that, of course. This is but the latest hospitalization that Ginsburg has undergone. She's 87 years old now. Her rabid left-wing activism is so fervent that she's absolutely refuses to retire, which of course raises the question, why the heck are we paying, we the taxpayers, why are we paying for all these frequent hospitalizations as soon-to-be 90-year-old Supreme Court justice? I mean, you would think that fact alone would be enough for her to step down, right, voluntarily. But then again, you know, when you're dealing with left-wing narcissists like Ginsburg, such thoughts of your own role and social responsibility never seem to enter one's head there. But just to do a Google search on the frequency of Ginsburg's hospitalizations. You won't believe it. I mean, back in May, she was hospitalized for a gallbladder infection, again at Baltimore's Johns Hopkins Hospital. A few months before that, in November 2019, she was hospitalized again and suffering from chills and fever, whatever that keeps coming back. Prior to that, in August of 2019, it was revealed that she was treated for cancer, pancreatic cancer at that. And in many ways, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. She's actually had several bouts, previous battles with cancer, and she even had to go in the hospital for 3 fractured ribs due to a fall in her home in D.C. Again, I just don't know why we keep having to pay for this. Retire already, lady. Step down. It's time. Know when to walk away. Now, needless to say, it obviously doesn't take a genius to figure out that Ruth Bader Ginsburg's days on the Supreme Court are indeed numbered, and that's precisely why we're seeing leftist liberals begin to they're going unhinged. They're panicked. There have actually been articles written on this topic, if you can believe it. There have been a number of articles written on why liberals freak out every single time Ginsburg ends up in the hospital, which is clearly increasing in terms of its frequency. And one of my favorites was one of Michael Moore's latest panic attacks. He just tweeted out, this is it. She goes. We're shot. Leftist liberals have lost the Supreme Court for the next generation. And you see the same thing with the absurd late-night clown Stephen Colbert, the CBS Late Show. He's setting new standards of absurdity in his own bout with Trump derangement syndrome over Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And this is all, of course, because of what Ginsburg represents for leftist liberals. She is indeed an icon. That's all we hear from the corporatist globalist media, the mainstream Marxist media, that Ginsburg is indeed this great and grand icon for all things progressive. But I would argue that she represents something much more than that. Ginsburg represents, in many respects, the last stand, the last gasp of liberalism. She is the last refuge of liberalism. She's an icon of what remains of liberalism's dwindling hopes and aspirations. They know that when Ginsburg's seat falls, it really is over for the left-wing political agenda for at least the next generation, which the left-wing diehards see as only setting them back. But as we argue each and every day on this channel, it's frankly all too little too late. Leftism has already lost. Look at this. I don't know if you're aware, but just a few weeks back, Trump hit a milestone in his extraordinary presidency. He and Mitch McConnell successfully appointed 200 federal judges throughout the nation. Now, just to give you a sense of what an accomplishment that was, the successful appointment of 200 judges is far more than any other president in recent memory was able to do in their first term. Trump has successfully seated twice the amount of appeals court justices as any of the past 5 presidents were able to appoint at this time in their respective presidencies. And really, all you have to do is just look at how the mainstream Marxist media is reporting this. Look at this from NPR, from the cultural Marxists disguised as journalists. Look at this. The headline reads, "Wave of young judges will be ruling for decades to come." Well, amen to that, right? But then you dive into the article and look at what this left-wing activist disguised as a journalist writes. She interviews a person by the name of Venita Gupta. Venita Gupta runs the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. Here's what she said about President Trump's record number of judge appointees. You ready for this? Look at this. They are largely white and male. It is an astonishing lack of representation. And she goes on to point out that by her count, nearly 7 in 10 of Trump judges are white men. Just 28 of the 200 are so-called people of color. Now stop and think about that for a moment. Forget the fact that it's widely recognized that racial minorities are underrepresented in law schools and the like. Forget that. Forget that. Why on earth does the color of their skin matter? Of course, this reporter doesn't explain that. She just lets the insinuation do the explaining for her. Trump's a racist. He's a bigot. Again, this is not journalism. This is left-wing cultural Marxist propaganda, and I'm not even remotely exaggerating on that. If you don't know, the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, of which this person, Venita Gupta, is a leader, is, as you may have guessed, it's an organization that is funded in part by one George Soros. Now, did NPR reveal that the spokesperson insinuating that Trump is racist is connected to the ultra-left-wing Soros? Well, what do you know? Of course not. It's because it's called fake news. But it's also an admission. It's an admission that the left is losing. They're falling apart. The influence over our major institutions is finally beginning to wane. In many respects, Ruth Bader Ginsburg and her fledgling health is a wonderful symbol of the dying prospects of modern-day liberalism. Like her, their days are running out, and a new age of conservative judges is really, truly beginning to dawn. Now, before you go, you'll definitely want to check out the latest video I just uploaded on the primary elections that took place just the other day, Tuesday, showing that President Trump is absolutely surging in support while the Democrats are mired in a civil war that may cost them the House majority. You're not going to want to miss this, so make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.